Hi, we're excited to invite you to be a part of something truly meaningful. Purpose-Inspired TV, a faith-based streaming channel and social media outlet focused on helping people discover and live out their God-given purpose. We're building more than just a media outlet. We're creating a like-minded community of content creators, coaches, teachers, business owners, faith leaders, and everyday people who are passionate about making a real impact, locally, nationally, and even globally. Our mission is simple but powerful. Help people in every area of life. Uplift and inspire through positive, purpose-driven, collaborate on real-world projects where there's need. Whether you create, teach, coach, or simply have a heart to serve, there's a place for you here. We believe that if you're human, you're worth helping, and together, we can reach and impact more lives than ever before. We can change lives and grow together. Our numbers are small, just like all the other platforms when they started. But as we grow, we will help you grow as a family. We will work together and pull each other up. If this sounds like something you're called to be a part of, we'd love to connect with you. We can participate on each other's shows. We can partner with each other on a cause. You can get a time slot on the channel. You can be a sponsor on the channel. Let's work together with and for a purpose. Don't just watch history, let's make it. Get inspired, Purpose-Inspired TV.
All right. What's up, everybody? Sorry. Thank you for your patience. That's you're supposed to say that. You're supposed to say thank you for your patience. Not sorry for keeping you waiting. All right, remember that. Okay. So, got a great show for you today, tonight, this evening. So I want to start off with and say happy Friday the 13th to you. Happy Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Say, wow, when I say happy Friday the 13th. Okay, that's just the date. You know, a lot of people are superstitious and a lot of people get sad and different things about the Friday being the Friday the 13th. Just another day. So what I say about Friday the 13th. So this is the day that my Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. So you decide if it's going to be a good day or if it's going to be a bad day. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So why am I here? Did you see my picture I put up? And put it up one more time. This is the picture, my picture. I'm not afraid, but I don't watch scary movies. Huh? I'm not afraid, but I don't watch scary movies. So I guess you've seen there's a whole lot of new scary movies. They're always coming out, and I guess my point of view, I don't watch them. I prefer not to watch them. Don't tell me every once in a while I might see a little bit of glimpse here or there, but on the most part, I stay away from them. So people think, "Are you afraid of them?" I'm not. You know, they always say I'm not afraid. And I'm not afraid. It's not that I'm afraid of the scary movies, but I decided to do this video, just talk about it. So I'm going to be talking about different things, and then I guess when I'm finished, I'm going to see if anybody's going to be around and want to give their 2 cents, give their input on what they think of the subject matter. So I'm going to be talking about me. I'm going to be bringing up some information, and even some scriptures, and even again, like I said, I want different points of view. So I start off with, I want to tell you a little bit about my history. So when I was growing up, maybe I need to turn the music down a little bit. Sorry about that. I'm working on this today. Turn it down a little bit. So we're going to be talking about, today is Friday the 13th. And again, so a lot of people discuss about seeing scary movies. So the topic is, I'm not afraid of scary movies. I prefer not to watch scary movies. So my little history going back, growing up. I'm back before. I'm thinking I can't go back that far back. So I'm going. Let me see. Go back to growing up as a preteen, teen. I think that's around the time we got cable in the house. But I can remember my mom she was very protective over us. So before cable, you had the regular TV channels, ABC, CBS, NBC, those type things. So they had certain laws that there were certain words and certain things they couldn't put on TV. So I guess my parents felt it was safe. Pretty much whatever they put on TV, it was pretty safe for us to watch. But then the cable came out. And I can remember HBO and Cinemax. At first we didn't have it, but I think every once in a while we might. I remember HBO came free at first. So they waited till like 9, 10 o'clock, and then they showed rated R. I guess they went rated X. But basically, my mom had a certain thing, like it was a rated R. The kids, we couldn't watch it. She didn't allow us to watch it, and if was something was on, and some profanity, she would either tell us to leave the room. If it was somewhere where she didn't have control of the TV, she would ask us to leave the room. So she kept our minds clear, or she would actually turn the movie off. She just was like, we're not gonna let that get into our mind, our spirit. So I guess that's kind of like my foundation. I remember some of these like today is Friday the 13th, so maybe I did watch some of the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, some of those other type movies when I was younger. I don't think it was she really allowed it or approved of it, but I still watched it. And I know I understand the thrill of scary movies. Today, when I was thinking about this subject, I was like, maybe scary movies is kind of like spices, maybe. If you could compare it to food, I don't like hot sauce, or I don't like super hot food. I rather enjoy the food, and maybe I like plenty of seasoning, but I don't like my mouth being so hot that I can't enjoy the food. That's kind of how I feel about some scary movies. There's some stuff that's added in there so much that it's disturbing. It's like reminds me of spices that, man, the movie's all messed up by adding this in, and now it's even profanity. So it bothers me just to hear movies just keep on the cuss words. They're spiritual. We can get into it, but every time they say the F word, that's a swear word. It's a cuss word, so that's a curse that's entering into your home, entering into your mind. They might be small, but they're still like little small daggers every time someone says it. So in movies, they count the cuss words. So it's a count. Like you need so many cuss words in particular Hollywood movies. It's not just like a natural flow. They know what they're doing. You know, it's an agenda. So it bothers me when I do hear that, especially when kids are around. Yeah, this reminds me of my mom's. Like I know good and well my mom would not be allowing us to be listening to this if she was here. Um, so I guess that's the kind of like where does my foundation. And then as I got older, I guess I didn't really care for them for the scary movies, but I would watch them. And then some of it, like I could tell that's so demonic. I don't want that. And people's like, it's not that scary. It's not that scary. But it's like I understood the spiritual side of it. I understood the thing. I didn't understand it all the way, but I understood that there was more behind it. So even with the music, also there's certain music that I didn't want to listen to, or movies and different things. I know there were certain spirits, but it's hard to explain that to different people. So you just have to step back and say, okay, I just don't watch that. So anyway, like I said, I'm getting older, and I still go. And I know a lot of other people probably have the same thing. You know, some people like I don't watch scary movies, and especially adults, they got to keep on explaining in different things, or like I don't eat pork, and I have to go through that. You a Muslim? No, I'm not a Muslim. I don't eat pork. Oh, what's wrong with eating pork? Now you got to put up this fight and keep explaining this and that and trying to explain why you don't eat pork, and on and on and on. Same thing about scary movies, or certain other things that seem like you as an adult, you shouldn't have to keep trying to explain or justify why you made certain decisions, certain life decisions. I know. I just thought of another one. Drinking. I don't drink. I'm drunk. I've never got drunk before, but I've had some drinks. I was introduced to beer and alcohol at an early age, and I hated the taste. So thank God that was one thing. And then I can remember, just talk about drinking real quick before I get back into the movies. When I was in the Navy and I was stationed in California, there was so much drinking around me, so I felt like I had to find my drink of choice, but I didn't want to get drunk, so I chose coolers, those little wine coolers. And I think one of my friends, he was drinking, I think it was, if I'm correct, not mistaken, like Cisco. I think it was drinking Cisco. That guy would get so drunk. Oh my goodness, it was so bad. We were like the designated driver. Well, we didn't have a car. So we would go to the clubs with him, and me and another friend, it was our jobs to bring the drunks back. So I was having my coolers. I really didn't even like the wine coolers, but I just wanted to have something. But one day, I don't know if any kids are watching this. I'm gonna one day, my man, I'm gonna try to, like I said, it's kind of late. I don't know. I'm gonna just tell the story. My man was drunk and met a lady and left and went with her. We stayed behind and went back to the base. The next morning, we was in the barracks getting ready to go to school. We just heard this screeching, screaming, just loud screaming like this. It was only men in there, so he knew it was a man. So this guy was just a scream. So we all ran over to see what was going on. Wow, this guy screaming so bad. So we got over there. He had what I saw. He had a T-shirt on. It was blood from the midway of his chest. Blood was always chest all the way down, just red from blood. And we thought he was stabbed. So that's what he was screaming about. He saw that blood. He started screaming, and we're like terrified because there's so much blood on him. So then he started checking himself out, and I think he took the T-shirt off, and he wasn't stabbed. So I was like, where in the world does all that blood come from? And he's trying to remember, but after he got himself together, what it was, he was so drunk, he went with this lady that it was a time of the month for her. And he was so drunk, he didn't know, didn't even care, and I guess she didn't care. So whatever they did, all the evidence was on his T-shirt when she brought him back. So that was so disgusting. And that, whenever I think about if I get drunk, something like that's gonna happen to me, I'm already a little bit germaphobe. It's certain things that I don't like, and one thing I want to be aware at all times. So that kind of scared me straight. And so when I got on ships, we go to different ports, people would buy me alcohol. They always offer, people will buy you 10 beers before they buy you one Coke. That's like, they'll buy you 10 beers before anybody buy you one Coca-Cola or one Sprite. So I learned. So then we go different places, going to clubs, different restaurants. Hey man, let me buy you a beer. Let me buy you a beer. I don't drink. Let me buy you a beer. I don't drink. Let me buy you a beer. I don't drink. And finally, I let somebody buy me a beer. So now I have to walk around carrying this beer that I knew I wasn't going to drink. I just carried it around until it got hot. I said, okay, I guess I need to throw this away. As soon as I throw it away, hey man, let me buy you a beer. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I that's what I understood. So I kind of like stopped going to those different clubs without the drinking because I knew I wasn't going to drink, and I knew the only reason I was in there was to drink. So anyway, so that's my drinking. A little bit of my drinking. I had some few other incidents, but I basically was scared straight from that one situation. Back to where we're going. Okay, so we're talking about scary movies. So basically, I want to start off with what person, what demographic, who am I talking about? So I have to say in my past videos, I talked about I'm not a Christian. So in that video, I broke down it's three types of Christians. Like a Christian. What's a Christian? And that's a hard thing to explain and to understand. But my understanding is there's three types. There's one that's the religious. So there is a religion of Christianity. A religion of Christianity, and there's a whole lot of different denominations, different churches, different things. That's just a religion. So they do religious things. A lot of times they do a lot of pagan things in their practices. So they are, quote unquote, Christians. So that's number one, the religious. They don't know God. They just do. They know the religious stuff. The second one is what's I call it, Christian by association. So that's the Christian that some say I'm an American, so that makes me a Christian. My granddaddy was a preacher, that makes me a Christian. My mom go to church, that makes me a Christian. I go to church a couple of times a year, that makes me a Christian. So I call those the Christian by association. And then the number three is the relationship. So the first one was religion. The third one is relationship. So that's why I really don't like to call them Christians, but I just call them the Christians, or they try to be Christ-like. They they actually read the Word of God, and the big O word, obey the Word of God, and pray and have a conversation with God. So those are three types of Christians. So I guess my main point of view from even telling this, I guess I'm gonna be coming from the point of view of the ones who have that relationship with God. So the Christian by association, you say they can do whatever they want to do. The Christian by religion, they can do whatever they want to do. That's why there's so many, how can you do this at this particular church? You can, drink and have as many boyfriends, girlfriends, do, anything that you can conceive of doing. There is a particular Christian church that allows it. So, that's what I call the religious. So, yeah, they can pretty much do whatever they want to also. So, they want to watch anything, okay, so be it. The second type, do whatever they want to do. So I'm really referring to that third type of quote unquote Christian, the ones who have a relationship with God. And the scary movies. So that's where we're coming from. I don't know if I took too long explaining that part. So this is like, I'm not afraid of scary movies. Guarding your heart. Why I do not watch horror movies as a believer, as that third type of person. So like I said, go back. The first type, religious, no problem. Not even talking to y'all. You can do whatever you want to do. It really doesn't matter. Second one, it doesn't matter. The third one. So what I mean why I separate the three, God is going to separate the wheat from the chaff. So he's going to separate the ones who are his. So if y'all heard the statement, when we stand before God, well done, thou good and faithful servant, welcome in. So he's going to say that to one of those three. The other two, depart from me, I never knew you. He's going to say that. Depart from me, I never knew you. So how do you know here while you're still on earth, which group are you in? So again, so we're going to get, so my thing, my journey, I want to say little journey, my journey, like I said, I think was a good foundation for my mom. She kept us away from it. What I did, I used to watch all types of movies, even pornographic stuff. So basically, I guess I'm being transparent. Not saying I was an angel. I can remember there's some crazy stuff, but I don't you remember? Some of y'all know when Cinemax first came out, it was scrambled. No reason why I tell you this part of the story, but anyway, Cinemax was scrambled. But I think after 11 o'clock or after midnight or whatever, it was like porno time. They got ranchy. That's what I say. I call it sin to the max. So I knew after a certain time, they got rid of the decent rated R. I say the decent movies and the rated R movies, all of them was gone. They went really ranchy, but we didn't have the channel. But every once in a while, when I had the opportunity, I would sneak to the TV and turn to Sin to the Max. So if you turn to Sin to the Max, the TV was scrambled, but you can still hear the movie. And then the lines will be scrambled and moving up. If you watch it, if you're a little, what you call a nosy little boy or teenager, you're going to sit there and watch those squiggly lines. Every once in a while, in between those squiggly lines, you might see some boobies. Every once in a while, you might see a booty stay up in the air. So you're sitting there watching a squiggly, scrambled channel, try to see some nasty shows. So, and I just want to say, I wasn't always an angel doing everything right. And as I'm confessing, I'm gonna confess this other part too. I told my sister this the other day about I forgot the subject we was talking about, but I told her how I got caught. I think I was explaining how my mom dealt with my mom had been. As you lose your parents, you start thinking back over things over the years. Think about some of the wisdom that she used. I had found as a kid, I don't know, I'm thinking I was 12, 13, something like that. Early teens, probably early teens. I found this, like I don't want to say the brand, what you call a nudie book that I shouldn't have had. So I found it, and I cut out all the pictures, and I put them in like little small photo albums, the little 4x6 photo albums that you can put all different pictures in there. So yeah, I cut all my pictures out and stuck them in that. So I had one photo album that did have pictures of the family and everybody in it. And I had me another backup one with all the nudie pictures in it. One day my mama found it. Oh my goodness. I guess she was flipping through it. She thought she was looking at regular pictures, and she looking at women's body parts. And she did not go off on me. She didn't fuss at me. She didn't tell me to throw it away. I do not know the words that she said, I really I don't know what she said, but when she left out of my room, I was so convicted. I got rid of it. I got all those I got rid of it. She didn't even have to tell me to get rid of it. It's whatever she said. I don't know if she said that. I'm guessing she said something, kind of like, don't even forget that. You try to put words in her mouth. Well, all I know that the results was she left the room, left me with my little magazine, and I felt so bad for having it that I had to get rid of it. And she did that without punishment. She did that without yelling at me. And I never did go back and try to make me another little magazine. I didn't go looking for those books. I don't remember ever doing that until I left her home. I never did it again. So she had that much power without yelling and screaming. And like I said, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I got rid of it. But yes, all right. I'm gonna get on track. So coming back. So we're going back to the movies. So I did over the years. I feel like I grew closer to God, and some kind of like even with that conviction of having those pictures in that little my little photo album. I had that conviction to get rid of it. And so then even with watching certain things, I get convicted to where, watching certain things. So that started a long time. So it's still not about a fear. So the point I'm gonna be making, eventually I'm gonna get started with it. Why would a believer who isn't afraid still avoid horror films? So it's not about the fear. I can sit there and break it down. That's fake. That's fake. That's fake. That's fake. But the spirit of fear is still behind it, and understand that. So I'm just go to the Bible a little bit. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are those issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. There's a lot of evil things in man's heart. And a lot of times movies and different things stir up evil things in your heart. Do you remember? Well, yeah. Well, some men could remember watching Kung Fu theater, and after you finished watching that movie, you felt like you're the best karate person in the world. You ready to fight. You think you know karate just because you just finished watching a karate movie, because that thought, that image, that movie was still a part of you. So, okay, you feeling good. I feel like fighting. So something from that movie landed on you. It's part of you now. Same thing with evil movies. It's still something. It's still left in you from that movie. And here's another scripture. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, and good report, think on these things. So that's Philippians 4:8. So God is telling us to think on true things, to think on honest things, just and pure and lovely, good report. So good quality things. So, but a lot of these movies, that's the opposite. So not even on top of with not only scary movies, and sometimes it's just violent movies. So I see it's some movies like, I like the fighting, and if somebody get killed, okay, but y'all know it's some movies they have the body count. They have to. You can go look it up. You can go look at certain movies that a lot of people were killed in it. That give you the body count. There was 50 people killed in this movie, or there was 100 people killed in this movie. There was 200 people killed in this movie. So it's some of those movies, just people just dying left and right. So that's same thing. That's putting that in your spirit. And some people just even making them desensitized. That's a lot of times we have the issue with video games. So some people, or young boys, some people watching or playing video games, killing and shooting and killing and shooting and killing and shooting, killing and shooting. They're desensitized to it. And a lot of those people are the ones that are shooting up places. I have no scientific proof. I didn't study that. But I believe if you can, with a lot of these mass, how do you supposed to say this, unalivings, if you go back to the person, see what were they feeding themselves? When feeding themselves, what were they doing? Were they playing those type video games or something in the hood, different drive-bys? What music were they listening to before they did it? So it's going into their spirit from the music or from the video games and even from the movies. So here's another verse. Abstain from the appearance of evil. That's 1 Thessalonians 5:22. We are supposed to stay away from the appearance of evil. So when we are doing it, when we're giving them money, so we're paying them money to bring more evil to the world. We're paying them money to continue to do what they're doing. So if somebody's doing an evil thing, we're paying them. So one thing that like bothers me, stick to my mind a lot is, let's say a person, they Christian, either one of the three, they go to church Saturday, Sunday, and sit there and they say they praise God, saying hallelujah to God, telling God He is holy, His name is holy. And then when they leave this particular church, then they go and pay someone to say evil things about God. And then they laugh about it. So they pay people to blaspheme God's name and they laugh about it. It's like, that is ludicrous. So you praising God in the morning and then paying people to curse God in the afternoon. How can we do? How and why? How are we doing that? How can you separate that? That's a hypocrite. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you're paying somebody to cuss to God that you just said you worship and praise. So I say Christian folks and crazy folks. So with me, I do believe that my heart and mind, so everybody, the Bible talks about your heart, that's really your mind. It's sacred. I'm not perfect with it, but I do try my best to block and keep things out. So even with a certain music, so people like get on me, you always listen to gospel, you always listen to gospel. Yeah, not always, but I do listen to other things. But some of the other music, they're putting certain things in your head. It's certain things and I prefer not to have that in there. Because it's going to change me. One example is, I can remember watching this episode of Simpsons. I can remember so many different episodes about different shows. But anyway, this one particular episode of The Simpsons, where Homer Simpson, he watched a music video, a black music video for the first time. And I ain't seen it in a couple of years, but it was so funny as how he was staring at the TV, drooling, looking at all those booty shaking. He was just drooling. And I just reminded me of myself when we used to have music videos. I don't know if they even come on TV anymore. It used to be a bunch of videos, and then the rap videos is nothing. When I say nothing, it was money, cars, and booty. Money, cars, and booty. Money, cars, and booty. And as I guess as a young man, that's what you start fantasizing. You need to figure out a way to get that money, to get that car, to be able to get that booty, and to have a whole lot of those women hanging around me. So you start keep watching it. That's what you want. So I felt like Homer, like I'm staring and drooling. And so the only way to get all that booty, I got to figure out a way to get that money and get those cars. So some of those guys, hey, we got to start. How do we get it? We got to rob, steal, and kill to get it, to get to those women. So anyway, so there's another type spirit, but my point, just watching it gets down in your spirit. So as we continue to go down the line of spiritual, some films invite evil influences. I don't think I got nobody that will argue with me about that. We know even people tell you after the fact, you can dig into, find out different information about particular movies. Some tell you that they was witches and different things, doing witchcraft and different things on the sets, or the set of the movie. Some of these actors and actresses say they even get possessed by different spirits to be able to play those particular characters. So as they portray those characters, those spirits can affect you from where they are, So we think, okay, since it's just TV, those spirits, it's inside the movie, or inside the, inside the TV. But no, when you see it, it goes into your mind. What you just did, you open up the portal and gave them access to you, gave access to your mind, spirit. You open up the portal, you gave them access. So when you watch them, and especially like movies, and you getting the glory, that's some of the movies I used to hate. Like, damn, why the doggone priest got to come out there with a cross, and they can get his butt kicked. Oh, the priest always getting his butt kicked, always getting beat up or getting killed or something. This make me so mad. So a lot of these movies, they're showing you how powerful that the demons are and everything, but maybe at the very end, the good guys might win in the last second or something. But throughout the whole movie, the demons were kicking tail, just kicking butt, killing folks, possessing people, just doing all sorts of things. So all those things are entered into your mind. And then at the very end, the good guy went and said, "Yay." But you still consumed all of that, what they did. So they still conveyed themselves as being powerful and evil. So there is different movies in Hollywood of people being demon possessed. I guess a lot of y'all know about the movie The Exorcist. I think I don't know the history. I think all the people are gone now. All of them was affected. So they open up the portal. I know some of y'all think you might not be at that level, but basically they granted access to demons. So they open up something by that movie. So it affected, I think, everybody end up is still on alive now. But imagine the millions upon millions of lives that they touched and affected. So that movie wasn't glorifying God. That was glorifying evil. So evil won. So it was basically that was a discipleship movie for Satan. So it's many other, and then the cult, different symbolisms that we see that's in our minds, different curses that's been spoken. Like, it's just a movie. They still speaking curses, and again, you can dig into this. A lot of these movies, you can ask like some of the movies they would tell you they were quoting real curses. They were really putting curses on the watchers of the movies. So there's a lot of dark rituals and different things that's going on in those movies that they are, that Satan is winning with that. So he's getting that into your head. All three types of Christians and the non-Christians, all their information is getting downloaded into the watchers. There's also a spiritual transference. There's a spiritual transference through that movie and from even people. Demons don't die, but people do. So whatever is demons constantly looking for a body. It's about many scriptures talking about how demons going from body, people like the exorcist or the true getting demons exercise out of people. Those demons still here. They go look for another host, and someone is watching scary movies, and someone is opening themselves up to that thing. They're opening themselves up, so they're giving that demon a place to go rest, giving that place a demon to go seek, to move in. This is a big rule of thumb. You just, as we know, every movie, if it doesn't have an effect on you, it would, it wouldn't make it. It wouldn't be no good movie. What I mean by it, it's like comedies, the effect on you make you laugh. Dramas make you sad. Thriller, suspense, get your heart beating, racing, and even scary movies, the darkness, they have to bring that fear. Some people saying, yeah, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't cause me fear. It's got to do something for you to keep on going back. If you got you go to a restaurant and the food is bad, you're not going back. So it's something that's you got a craving for, and that watching those movies is feeding that craving. If it wasn't feeding that craving, you wouldn't go back. I don't have that craving for it, so that's why I know how I can sustain and stay away from it. I don't have that craving for it. But people, if you wasn't getting something out of it, you're getting something out of it that you're craving, and your craving is being fulfilled. So it's not wholesome. What I said earlier about the joy, the peace, and that you're not getting that out of those movies. So it's something that your body, your spirit is craving to get out of those movies, or you wouldn't keep on going. But then it's the fear. You remember I said earlier about the spice. So it is. People say I'm not afraid, but it's got to be that spice of fear. And then you have, and it might not be on the level that you think it is. So what I mean, like nightmares, you might see it later. So this here, how can I explain this? What's coming to my mind is, Adam and Eve. When when God said, if y'all eat of the fruit, which was not an apple, when you eat of the fruit, you should surely die. And then when they did eat the fruit, they didn't die. I'm like, okay, you said we were going to surely die. We didn't die. Well, they did die. They died spiritually. It was spiritually what he was talking about spiritually. So that's what I'm talking about. Is something spiritually going on, and it's coming from the movies. I can remember. I don't recall. Like I've seen scary movies, but there's some that still. I'm trying to think something that really bothered me. So one thing I like to say is I think it's certain things that I'm not afraid of. I hear people say, I'm afraid of the attic. They say I'm afraid of the attic because of this movie. Well, I don't want to go into the house because of this movie. I don't want to go in the gutter because it was a clown in the gutter. So they have all these different scenarios where they say they don't like it, they're not going to do. They say it didn't bother them, but in real life, I can't go in the attic no more because of the attic movie. I can't go in that closet because of the closet movie. I can't go outside in the dark because of that dark in the woods movie. I don't have those fears because I don't have those remembrances of those movies. It's like, so I just read a lot of people that's like, they tell me all these different things that they're afraid of, and it don't bother me. And it reminds me, like, it's like I don't have that memory. It's funny. Oh man, I'm trying to think of the right way of saying it. I don't think this is good. I don't think this is a good example, but I can remember. Here's another cartoon. Y'all know Buzz Bunny, not Buzz Bunny, Road Runner, Coyote and the Road Runner. These when they was a baby. It was like, the baby type. Anyway, the Road Runner, little Road Runner was trying to get away from the Coyote. Coyote was chasing him. The Road Runner ran off the cliff and just stood there in midair. And the Coyote was like, "Why are you not falling?" And then the Road Runner just came back and ran on and basically said, "I haven't learned about gravity yet. So since I haven't learned about gravity, I can't fall yet." But so he don't have the fear of falling because he haven't learned it yet. So I guess I don't think that's a good example. But like I said, I think it's a lot of movies that put certain fears in people. So people can watch movies and be afraid, of flying in an airplane. People can watch movies of Jaws and are afraid to go out in the ocean. Other people, I remember my wife, who was just in New York. I don't know if the guy saw the thing, but he is terrified of coming to Florida because he thinks alligators are everywhere. They're going to eat you up. He refused to come to Florida because he thinks alligators. So that's from what somebody told him, from what he saw on TV. So you see, these things get in our mind, or these certain fears get in our minds. So a lot of times we invite them in, granted access to us. So now we're talking about the three Christians again. Three Christians, like I said, the religious, the by association, and the relationship Christians. So now I'm talking to the relationship Christians again. So let me see. If God is holy, why would he share space with what glorifies evil? That's one of my biggest thing that go through my mind. That's what keeps me in check sometimes, a lot of times. So I'm constantly, I want more of God. I want to be more of God. I want to be clean. I want to be more of God. And I'm constantly praying. And even, praying for people. That's another thing. I'm going to go top left turn is being a minister. I'm supposed to be clean and prepared to be able to pray for people. And if I got all this evil in me, how can I pray for somebody when the whole thing gonna come up is evil? So that's on my mind too. If I got to go, pray for somebody and say, "Hey, I need you to pray for me." Oh, no, wait a minute. I got to go out. I got to go throw up and get some of this stuff out of me first, and then I come back in. I can pray for you. I can't do that. So, I'm thinking like, what's the Bible? Our bodies is the temple of the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit. So we want God to live in us. So God is seeing everything that we see. And so then we watching certain things and, experiencing different things. Now we was like, "Hey, come on in, evil. Go ahead and sit beside God." And, God's like, "I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here." God can't be around evil. You can't be around evil. So you want God in your heart, and you bring evil in your heart. So 2 Corinthians 6:17, come out from among them and be ye separate. So like I said, those three Christians, that third one, we're supposed to be different. You're supposed to be able to see a difference. We shouldn't be consuming and doing the same thing the people of the world. Light versus darkness. You can't fellowship with both. Ephesians 5:11. So there's a lot of just go back to the three Christians. The religious ones, of course, they can do it. You can't tell the difference. By association, you can't tell. Look the way they dress. We got the cussing Christians. So they cuss and they sound just like the world. They got the booties hanging out just like the world. They drink, getting drunk just like the world. So they're doing everything just like the world. So how is there a difference? And then when somebody's like, "Hey, I want to learn about God," Then they look at you, you do the same thing that I do. I experienced that. But it was when I was in Tennessee. I had the same guy that I told you earlier that was drinking so much. I had invited him to church one day. I was like, this is what I said. I was like, man, his name was Shaw. I remember, Shaw, you need to stop cussing so much and go with me to church. And Shaw looked at me and he said, Reeves, you cuss more than me. That's all he said. And then I thought about it. Just by being around so many cussing, I was in the Navy, so it was cussing sailors. They were cussing so much that I had picked it up and started cussing and I didn't even realize it. So when he said that, I did. I cussed more than him. So that hurt me, I say hurt me. Here I'm trying to help him because like I said, he was drinking and doing all these different things, and I figured, hey, he go with me to church and you get God in his life, that'll help him stop doing all this drinking. But when he looked at me like, how are you gonna talk to me about coming to church with you when you cuss more than me? So I stopped cussing cold turkey that day. I think after that day, I could probably, this is no lie, I don't think I've said more than 10 cuss words since that day, and that's almost 30 years ago. That's when I was like, it was embarrassing. Calling myself, yeah, I'm all righteous. You can go with me to church and get your life right. And I was worse than him. It's like, no, you're never gonna catch me with my pants down like that again. Like, oh no. Yeah, that was bad. Then that other, he still kept drinking. Lord, I haven't seen him in 20 years, so I don't know what happened with him. I pray everything is well with him. But anyway, that's the point. It should be a difference. He should have saw a difference between me and him. I just drunk coolers. I still drunk. I still went to the clubs. I still cussed just like him. It was really not too much difference between the two of us. But after that day, I was like, it's gonna be a difference. It's got to show you. It's got to be a difference. You got to see that. And then even so, that was a conviction. So the conviction my mama made, that I don't say my mama, the conviction I got when I got caught with the nudie pictures, and I had another conviction when that happened. So I decided, hey, I need to get closer to God, and it makes me feel uncomfortable when I hear a whole lot of cussing, when I see nasty shows. There's so many shows that all types of Christians like, yeah, this is a good show. This is a good show. You start watching it. Oh no, what? And then the ones that's got the gospel singers in it. That's disturbing to me. It's like you got a disturbing show or disturbing movie. You got these people who's supposed to be godly people. They saying all that. I don't know. Again, we're supposed to be different. I'm not saying we're supposed to be better. We're supposed to be different. We're supposed to be striving to be different. So, moving on, it's a good Lord, almost an hour. The entertainment trap is just a movie, or it's just music. I can remember growing up, my sister, my mom, like, you shouldn't be listening to that music and that music. And still, that music back then wasn't as bad. Well, you probably could found some bad music, but some of that music wasn't as bad as it is today. And I can remember my sister listening to it, and my mom like, no, you shouldn't be listening to that. And what my sister say, I'm not listening to the words. I'm just listening to the music. I'm just listening to the beat. You can't block out the cuss and profanity and all that and just listen to the beat. But she was convinced that, hey, all I'm doing, the beat is good. I'm just gonna listen to the beat. I'm not gonna listen to them degrading women and all this kind of stuff. So what's some other things that people say to justify and keep going? Like I said, she would say just listen to the music. Some people just say it's fake. So what's the matter? So it kind of like what I would do sometimes. Like I didn't really want to watch it. I say it's fake. So I'm constantly got to remind, this is fake. This is fake. This is fake. Yes, it's fake, but it's still putting a message in your spirit. And then I'm strong enough, it doesn't affect me. Yeah, you might, just like Eve said, they thought, hey, I didn't surely die. It's not affecting me. But yes, it does. Again, a lot of stuff we can't see spiritually. If God opened up our spiritual eyes, oh my goodness, I know, woo. All I can say is woo, woo, woo. If we could see spiritually what I can imagine, I'm thinking out loud. If you're at a movie theater watching one of these evil movies, and if you click off your regular eyes and cut on the spiritual eyes, can you imagine the demons climbing out of the movie screen and then getting onto people that came to the movie to see it? Imagine that big old, how big are those TV, even your TV, but imagine the movie theater, those big gigantic movie theater screens. You got demons as the movie is playing. Demons are coming in through the movie screen, and then entering into different people. So I mean, if we could only see, okay. So when people say it's just fake, but the just fake, it normalizes evil. It makes evil normal. So why would you fight something or stay away from something that's normal? That's a lot of things. Even like all the extra killing, all sorts of things that we should be against. If you watch it enough, it's gonna be normalized, and you're not gonna one, you're not gonna recognize it, and then two, you're not gonna fight it. You might, oh well, that's just a demon, and oh well, why is the demon bothering me? Demonic influence does not play fair. Open doors matter. So we are opening doors. So we constantly, like, we pray for hedge protection to keep us and our children and family away from the attacks of the enemy. But a lot of the entertainment that we have, it opens up the door. It gets rid of the hedge of protection. It nulls and voids. So, to listen to God, don't bring this into your home. Don't bring this into your mind. And then we do. So we just okay, forget it. Get rid of the hedge of protection. I prefer to do this on my own. So one thing that I try to do you remember a couple of years ago, people used to have these bracelets, what would Jesus do? What would Yahuwah do? What would Yeshua, different ways people pronounce it. So would Jesus sit there and watch that with you? Could you comfortably sit there? Kind of like what I would do is like some things, would I watch that with my child, my young child? If my young child can't watch it, I really probably shouldn't be watching. That's kind of like my rule of thumb. But would the Lord, could you get a relationship with the Lord and you walk with the Lord and y'all decided, hey, let's go to the movies? Would you bring him to see the movie with you? Here's some practical steps to protect your family. So what I try to do, like I said, it's not always, and I'm not like saying, there's some people you can't watch nothing. There's nothing at all that you can watch. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is still, you have to, it's just like food in a way. It's certain, most people, they're more concerned about the physical body. They like to keep their body in shape, and they want, hey, I can't eat this, and I can't eat that, and I can't eat this. That's too fattening. That's too greasy. That's too this. So they protect their bodies from the physical harm, but let anything in spiritually, which is going to cause even more eternal harm. So that physical stuff that you're protecting for, that's only temporarily while you're here on earth. But that spiritual that you're allowing in, that's affecting you for eternity. For eternity. So what are some things to do? Try to have more edifying, more things that build you up, more things that build the Lord up. Like I said, a lot of those movies, a lot of the movies, Christians and believers are a joke. You know, they're weak minded, and a lot of movies too. They make men weak, but a lot of them that the Christians are just a joke, and somehow they just stumble across a win or something somehow, you know. But basically, a lot of the movies, like, they want to prove that Christians and real believers in God is weak and soft. So now that stuff, you say, you know, you try to separate it. It's like, go to church. Yeah, I praise a strong God. You saying these God is so strong. God is so strong, but then you watch movies. God is so weak. God is so weak. But you say God is strong, then you watch a movie, God is weak. What's going on in your head? There's no conflict. But we do know how to how you say that word? Compartmentalize, put things in different compartments and separate things. Yeah, we humans, we are good with that. But in the long run, that's not gonna be a good thing. So we should be continuing to pray using scriptures. If you've been exposed to things or seen some things, not even talking about movies, it's about some things that you've seen or been exposed to that's deep down in you. You know, you got to pray for God to clean that out of you. So, you know, we got a lot of stuff. We're like a computer. It's my best way. It's a lot of stuff that's in us. We forget about it, but it's still in there. It's still in there, and it can come up in our dreams and different things. But even it's you are what you eat. When I say you are what you eat, so you are what you consume. So whatever you consume a lot of, you are that. So even you can say that this is not affecting me, but you're still consuming it and it's still becoming a part of you. So even you don't even realize it, something like you continue to consume. If you have a constantly, like I said, like let's do the shooting videos. If you constantly killing people with videos, you constantly killing, and you say it don't affect you, it does, and it might come up and show up in ways that you may not realize. So it does affect you. And then sometimes we got to have accountability. We have to be around the right kind of people to not drag you to stuff that's going to bring harm and not any benefit to you in your anyone. So anyway, that's my point of why I am not afraid of scary movies. I'm not afraid of them. I know who's more powerful. But at the same time, if I'm praying to get spiritually strong, why would I invite something in to make me spiritually weaker? You know, and as we see a lot of people just go to church once a week, and then the pastor is preaching. So the pastor is the only giving you a little bit of juice. There's a lot of people, they not reading the Bible, they not praying, they not listening to positive, not listening to gospel, so they're not feeding themselves. So what does the Bible say? How do you build up your faith? You're supposed to hearing. So you're constantly hearing the word of God, and that's what's going to build your faith. But if you're not constantly hearing the word of God, but you're constantly hearing how powerful the evil is, your faith is going to be in that. If you spend one day of 1 hour, then your pastor preach and tell you how strong God is, but then you spend the rest of the week watching stuff showing you how powerful Satan is. You can say all you want, saying that you think God is powerful, but deep down, you can't believe that he's powerful. You got more information showing you that he's not powerful. It's more downloaded. You got, if we talk about a computer, you got 100 gigs of showing how powerful Satan is and how powerful and evil he is. Then you got 1 gig of yeah, God is good, God is strong. Yeah, all day long you can be like, yeah, God is strong, but you done downloaded 100 gigs of how evil and how strong evil is. It's no way that you're gonna keep talking about trusting in God. So now, when it's time to trust God, you're having a hard time trusting in God because you ain't got but, like I said, 1 gig trusting in God, 100 gig trusting that something bad's gonna happen. Then you start saying this bad gonna happen. All bad things always happen. It's always gonna be bad. Always evil. Satan did this to me today. Satan made me have a bad day today. Satan made me have an accident. Satan got into that person. Satan got that person mean. So you glorified and Satan giving Satan all this credit. And then we might give God thanks for one thing. You got your faith built up in the evil one and not built up in God. That's what a lot of people are. They got all the trust and faith in the evil and not in God. And especially, let's say, how many, let's count the movies. If you're a lover of horror movie and evil movies, if you could probably name 20, I'm just saying, probably 20, 30, what you quote unquote good horror movies, how many good, powerful, godly movies can you name? I bet a lot of people can't name one. If that, they probably can name one, but many can't even name one. So we can name 20, 25, 30 horror movies, and we can't think of one godly movie. So now they're telling you who you got more faith in. That's where your faith at. Your faith can't be in God if God is not in there. Okay. I don't know. I got some people on. Anybody got any comments? I know some people got other opinions on this. So anybody got something you want to jump in and say about believers and scary and horror movies, evil movies, and music and songs? So it's really not only the scary movies. One reason for scary movies today, Friday the 13th. So I know a lot of people probably watching Friday the 13th or watching scary movie just because of that. And that same thing, a lot of the believers, and then they start having nightmares. Like, why am I having nightmares? Why are hearing these different sounds in my house? Why are these different things happening? Because we done gave them access. We gave them access to come in. All right. So we're gonna have a part 2. I'm gonna bring some people with different points of view to join in next time, so we can have this discussion again. All right. I thank y'all. Pray y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. And until next time, wait a minute, where's my button at? Until next time, Joe out.
Hi, we're excited to invite you to be a part of something truly meaningful. Purpose-Inspired TV, a faith-based streaming channel and social media outlet focused on helping people discover and live out their God-given purpose. We're building more than just a media outlet. We're creating a like-minded community of content creators, coaches, teachers, business owners, faith leaders, and everyday people who are passionate about making a real impact, locally, nationally, and even globally. Our mission is simple but powerful: help people in every area of life. Uplift and inspire through positive, purpose-driven, collaborate on real-world projects where there's need. Whether you create, teach, coach, or simply have a heart to serve, there's a place for you here. We believe that if you're human, you're worth helping, and together, we can reach and impact more lives than ever before. We can change lives and grow together. Our numbers are small, just like all the other platforms when they started, but as we grow, we will help you grow as a family. We will work together and pull each other up. If this sounds like something you're called to be a part of, we'd love to connect with you. We can participate on each other's shows. We can partner with each other on a cause. You can get a time slot on the channel. You can be a sponsor on the channel. Let's work together with and for a purpose. Don't just watch history, let's make it. Get inspired, purpose-inspired TV.